Does Thor: Love and Thunder bring the work? There we go. Thunder. So Thor: Love and Thunder is the fourth Thor movie. Hard to believe we're already 4 Thor movies in. Try saying that 4 times fast. And it's also the 29th film in the MCU, which is just absolutely crazy that they've come this far in 14 years. It's absolutely insane. And let me tell you, this is one of the more fun Marvel movies we're going to get. Taika Waititi is the director, coming back here after doing Thor Ragnarok, which I think is one of the top 5 Marvel movies they've done. Maybe it's definitely top 10. I forget where I ranked it, but it's up there. And it is a daunting task now to do a sequel to Ragnarok, because I think Ragnarok balanced so well, so much darkness, so much comedy, and it did a really good job at balancing that. And this film does almost as good as that. I think there's a lot of levity, there's a lot of dark stuff in this film, including Christian Bale's Gore the God Butcher, which we'll get into in a little bit later. And then, it's got all the comedy. It's got everything you'd want, from Taika Waititi playing Korg to, all the other shenanigans and other characters that show up. And obviously Chris Hemsworth, who plays the title character, who has embraced this more comedic version of Thor while still kind of maintaining some of that Shakespearean-ness that he had starting off. And so, let's just dive into the story here. And the story is actually pretty simple. It's Gore the God Butcher, played by Christian Bale, is upset at the gods that have done him wrong, so he goes on this quest of just killing the gods, and that leads to his path crossing Thor's path. And it's up to Thor and his ragtag team to stop Gore from killing the gods. And along the way, though, Thor has to re-interact with his ex-girlfriend Jane Foster, who has somehow, and I won't spoil it for you, gotten the power of Mjolnir. Meow Meow. It's great seeing her back, and she gets to be the mighty Thor. She gets powers. She becomes a new super powered version of herself with Thor armor, and she's pretty badass, by the way. And so you don't know why. I'm not going to explain why she gets those powers, but it's really interesting how that comes about, and I like what they did and reason how she got Mjolnir fixed, and how she got the powers and why she's got the powers. So very good stuff there. So it's up to them, this team, to stop Gore the God Butcher. And that's it. It's a pretty simple story, actually, which I find kind of interesting. But within that simple story, there is a lot of nuance. There's a lot of character depth. There's a lot of, love triangles. There's a couple love triangles that kind of overlap, which I think is extremely funny. And it's a great reoccurring gag in the film. And it's, at the heart of it also is Thor trying to find himself, which is a really interesting arc to explore, because Thor's always been changing. He's still 4 movies in, still hasn't really found his place in the world. And will he find that in this film? Maybe, just maybe. Also, of course, we can't shy away from the comedy. There is just so much good stuff here that Taika Waititi does. A lot of stuff that goes from the completely ridiculous, over the top comedy to really smart, thought out gags and stuff that just works so seamlessly. So it does walk that fine line of balancing all that stuff. Like I alluded to earlier, maybe not as well as Ragnarok, but still very, very good. I was impressed with it. The runtime, is under 2 hours. So this is a really quick moving film too. And they handle so much stuff in that runtime that might be one of the biggest detriments I have for this, which is they have so much stuff going on that I feel that there are a couple of times where I wish we could have explored some stuff a little more. I think Christian Bale, who is awesome as Gore and is one of the best MCU villains, in my opinion, did get a little shortchanged. I think he could have been in there a little more. I think his motivation and his, character could have done with a little bit more screen time to really flesh him out, to make him more terrifying, because I think they only scratched the surface of where he could have gone. And so I'll leave that at that. I think, fantastic. And then the Jane story is also something I wish we would have explored just a little more. We get just enough of it to make the story work, to get everything moving, and to not feel like it's just being shoehorned in there. But I do feel like there might have been just a little bit more they could have mined from that story, from that element of the film, to really enrich that character just a bit more. And Natalie Portman, does a fantastic job in her performance as well. So hats off to her. So there's so much here. They balance, they even bring in the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not going to say how long they're in the movie for, but they come in and I think they serve a fun role in the film. Yeah, I think that if you are a MCU fan, if you're a Marvel fan, this will deliver so much stuff. There are a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of stuff you could see in the background that really hint at some of the stuff. If you've been watching all the Marvel stuff, including the TV shows and maybe a cartoon, you might be rewarded with a couple Easter eggs in the background. And speaking of Easter eggs, I would implore you guys to stay through the credits. As always with a Marvel movie, I think it's got two of the best post-credit scenes we've had in quite a while, and really one of them foreshadows something that could be coming down the road here in a couple of years maybe. We'll see what they're going to do with this plot point, but I'm very interested to see where that that comes up. And so that's the mid-credit scene. The final credit scene, you said all the way to the end of the credits, is interesting, and I think while on the surface it might not seem like a great post-credit scene, I think if you sit and think about it, there are a lot of implications that this could lead to, and I find that utterly fascinating, and I think I'm excited to see where that element could go. So overall, guys, I think Thor: Love and Thunder is a great time at the movie theaters. It's a lot of fun. Get the popcorn and everything ready, and I think you'll have a fantastic time with this film, and I'm going to be giving it a solid B+. Yes, I know I talked a lot of good stuff about it, but like I said, there are some problems with it. I do think that they could have mined a little bit more. I think Taika Waititi was spinning a lot of plates, and a lot of those plates work really well, but there's a couple that I just think that they could have either lost or trimmed down a bit to really, balance this whole thing out a little better. But regardless, guys, this is a great fun time at the movie theater. Go and see this. This is definitely one I would go see again, as opposed to Doctor Strange, which I liked about as much as this. Just this one, I think, has got a lot more replay value, and it might be because it's a comedy, but I think it's also because it's also got some heart and some really interesting stuff in there as well. So that's it, guys. That is my review for Thor: Love and Thunder. What did you guys think? Are you going to go see it this weekend? I know a lot of people are going to go see it this weekend. Are you excited for Thor: Love and Thunder? What's your favorite of the Thor movies? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm very curious. And of course, guys, as always, if you could hit that like button, if you could hit the subscribe button and the little bell notification, it means a lot to me. I'm not going to go on much longer. And until next time, guys, I'll be seeing you.